data engineers, great at fixing broken systems, optimizing pipelines, automated workflows, but can data engineers fix their dating life? So some time ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Adrian, who was a data engineer, and I coached him in his first steps to fixing his dating life. And in that process, I learned many interesting things about people from his profession trying to work on their dating lives. And if you are a data engineer or in general a technical person, in this video I'll share the things that I learned from working with him and him trying to fix his dating life, the mistakes that he made, the things that he didn't do well, the things that he did do well, so you can avoid making the same mistakes as him, and you can double down on your strengths and recognize your weaknesses so you can fix your dating life. So what did we actually do with Adrian? In total, we met about 6 times, 1 time a week, and each time that we met, I would guide him in the interactions with strangers. Beginning, it was strangers in general, then it was women, and we would gradually increase the exposure to the level of interaction he would have with these strangers. And the last session had a culmination, unplanned, but culmination of him getting a date on camera. So number one, Adrian was very interesting because he worked on his looks, not his social skills. So if you actually looked at Adrian, he has great style, great grooming, great shape, but his dating life was still pretty non-existent and very inconsistent. And essentially, he was just pulling the wrong levers because he was still doing these things, but it wasn't helping him in his dating life. And really, it slows down a lot the technical people, engineers. They're very analytical, so they try to analyze things. And of course, the most obvious things and obvious levers to pull, inputs, is your looks, your gym, your styling, your grooming. They're most accessible. They're also the easiest things to figure out, but they're actually not giving you the ultimate output. So you as a data engineer, you got to be careful about which inputs you're optimizing as you're trying to fix your dating life, because not all inputs and fixing all inputs will give the same outputs, the same results, same level of results, and also at some point you will have diminishing returns of trying to improve that input. And for him, he essentially had reached that diminishing return because he already had good grooming, good style, even a good job, right? He had a great job, and still he had trouble with his dating. So really be careful about which inputs you're trying to optimize. Now, number two, and then the second lesson that I learned is that he had extreme social anxiety. He had extreme approach anxiety. So for him, in the beginning, he couldn't even do the most basic thing, which was asking for time. I was pretty surprised because when I met him, he seemed like a pretty social and okay dude, but even just asking for time, he couldn't do it.
A process to scale, to being able, as I said before, to push outside your comfort zone. So first step, of course, you are not going from 0 to 10 in one day. You are going to pass 1, 2, 3, and one is asking for time for a guy, because it's easier than approach to a girl and asking to get a date.
To be fair, his job doesn't require for him to go and interact with a lot of people unless you go into the management. If you're just a data engineer, senior data engineer, you don't need to do this. And he was telling me that, in his job, he wasn't really interacting that much, and he could be promoted many times and he could be very good in his job without really leveling up your social skills, soft skills. So you as a data engineer, you got to be careful. You can climb in your career quite a lot, but you will need to actively go out of your way to improve your social skills and work on your anxiety, because unlike other professions where sometimes it is required for people to go out and interact with other people, here Adrian didn't have that. And it also showed that anxiety really can grow like a disease if unaddressed. If you don't treat the disease, it grows. And sometimes you don't know how you have that disease, and it grows a lot. And here again, because Adrian didn't really discover, he never really put himself in the position that he needed to go out and talk to people, that he had massive anxiety. And when first time I told him, okay, go talk and go ask for time, he couldn't do it. And he was not only he was very afraid and very anxious, but he was also surprised, like, dude, like I can't even do this basic thing. He had it unaware. So a lot of you watching, a lot of you data engineers watching, you might be the same way. Like maybe you don't realize how big your social anxiety is because you haven't exercised that muscle that much. And if you can't ask for time, How will you be able to flirt with a girl, to really tease her, to really be playful with her? These are the things, if you really want to be great at the process of dating and not being lucky and not relying on one single shot, you have to have great dating social skills. And one of those skills is being playful and breaking rapport and teasing her. And if you can't ask for time for a stranger, not only you will not be able to talk to a girl you don't know, but even if you get a date, let's say from Tinder, and you want to be playful and break rapport, you will not be able to do these things. So you got to actively work on it. Number 3, what I also learned from Adrian is that approach anxiety brings a lot of excuses. And with him, what was interesting is that if he saw an attractive girl, he would say, "Oh, it's too intimidating. I can't go talk to her." But if it was not an attractive girl, then he would just say that I'm not attracted to her.
This one?
Which one?
But they don't like her.
That's a problem. If I don't like.
All right.
I mean, thing is, no.
No, I mean, this is for the warm up. You don't need to like her 100%.
Okay, good.
Because it's like you're just trying to be social. You're not
So this
necessarily. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
And really, because data engineers, Adrian was very smart. He was very smart. He had many great ways of thinking about things. So he was great at making these rationalizations, but these are actually terrible, terrible things, because you should go for the attractive girl, and you should also not go for not so attractive girl, because you're just trying to practice your social skills. And when you are great at rationalization, which a lot of smart engineers, data engineers are, it blocks your growth. Your intelligence and your decision making in your job, it might be a great resource, and it is a great resource, but here it actually might inhibit your growth, because you can make much smarter and more coherent rationalizations. If you're not so smart, then when you make an excuse, you know it's an excuse, and you kind of okay, I'm making excuses. But a lot of times, Adrian didn't think that he was making excuses. He was thinking that it was a great coherent reason for him not to go talk to that girl. He's not attractive. So obviously, this was part of the reason why I was there, to kind of expose him of his thinking. But you got to be aware of your own patterns, what kind of rationalizations you might be making. Because if you're a data engineer, you're probably pretty smart. You have good problem-solving skills. But those same analytical problem-solving skills might actually be sabotaging your dating life, because you're creating excuses that are very coherent and very intelligent, even though they are just excuses. And then finally, number 4, which was interesting for Adrian, he was actually saved by a positive attitude. He had a great positive attitude. And yes, he created excuses, which we addressed, but he was always positive.
All right, man. That's pretty confident already. That's very, very good. Cool. You're pretty easy already for you, huh? Pretty.
I don't know if it's a camera, but
Without the positive attitude, he would essentially not been able to make such great progress. He was also great at following a plan and direction, because I gave him a specific plan, step-by-step actions, and he was great at following those things. Even though sometimes he failed, and of course he had maybe too much approach anxiety, he could still follow directions to a pretty good standard. And me as his coach, it was great, because I can make very, very specific, outline the specific plan for him, and that made a job easier on his side, and also made my job easier to sort of get him through these times. So for you watching, if you can adopt a positive attitude about things, if you don't become a victim, if you don't blame the society, blame other things, blame your profession, blame your introversion, and become a victim, then you can really improve your dating life a lot, and you can actually fix it. This was the big thing, apart from following direction, that got him through these difficult moments. He was very positive. He was always willing to try stuff. Yes, sometimes he wasn't approached when I would tell him to approach, but in general, I told him to do something and he would do it. And when he would get rejected, he would be back up on his feet. I'd be like, okay, let's go again. I'm nervous, but let's go again. And this positive attitude really got him through. So really take notice of all the things that Adrian went through. You as a data engineer or engineer in general, try to pull the right levers. Address your social anxiety, which you might not be aware of. Stop making excuses and adopt a positive attitude. And finally, if you would like to get coached one-on-one by me, same way as I did Adrian, and not only get specific instructions on how to do things and how to approach women in real life, but also get live feedback. Me being on a call with you while you're out there talking to women, me tracking your progress every week, me giving you specific instructions and homework for every week, and also pushing you, guiding you, exposing your excuses, and really make much faster progress than you could make alone, then my one-on-one mentorship might be interesting for you. I do this with guys all over the world, many more smart, logical engineers like Adrian, and all of them are out there improving their social lives, improving their flirting abilities, talking to women in real life, getting dates, and changing their dating lives step by step. And if you'd like to do what Adrian did, check out the first link in the description and book a call with me. We can speak about if this could be a good fit for you.